Hi everybody, Brian Seymour here, Director of Instructional Technology for Pickerington Local School District. I have some very exciting news for some of you in Pickerington Local School District. In our last 6 buildings this summer, we have installed mounted projectors and speaker systems that you've been asking for. So those of you at Pickerington North, Lakeview Junior High, Harmon Middle School, Diley Middle School, Tucson Elementary, and Heritage Elementary, your projectors are getting finalized right now, and they'll be ready for you and the speaker systems when you return back to school coming this August. So what I'd like to do today is give you just a really quick rundown of what it is that these are going to look like and how to use them, how to get started with them, and then we'll do some more training a little bit later. So on this episode of Seymour Educate Podcasts, we're going to talk about the new toys in those 6 buildings. All right, so let's first of all start out with probably the easiest thing. The easiest thing are going to be the projectors. This is an example of what the projector is going to look like in your classroom. These are all mounted really close to the ceiling. We wanted to do that so we didn't really have kids trying to jump up and hit them or dunk basketballs over them or anything like that. So these are all mounted up into the ceiling. They're just a regular projector, nothing fancy. They work exactly like a regular projector would work. So if you've ever used one before, it's the same type of functionality. You should all be receiving a remote. We're going to put these in the media center along with some other tools that I'm going to show you this morning. And you're going to pick them up from your media center, either specialist or media center aide. So basically, just to turn this on, you're just going to hit the orange button up at the top and point it obviously at the projector. You probably have to get around to the front of the projector to make sure that it works. It should beep, the little orange light should turn green, and you should be up and running and ready to go. Now, this has the ability, is plugged into your computer, and if you had a DVD VCR player in your room, it's hooked up to that as well. Okay? If you didn't have a DVD player in there before, it's not hooked up to one. We didn't get new ones. Okay? So if you need to change source searches, or if you need to change from the computer to the DVD VCR player, you're just going to hit the button that says source search, and it'll find whatever you want it to do. To be able to do that, you have to have your computer plugged in if you want to switch to the computer, or if you want to switch to the DVD player, the DVD player has to be turned on. It'll find it for you. It'll set it all up and ready to go. Okay, so once again, pretty simple. There's some other tools on here that you can use. There's the zoom buttons, which you can actually zoom, and it'll zoom on your projector. And then a few other things. Most of it has already been set for you. You don't really have to worry about too much of it. Just turn it on, do the source search, you're ready to go. Okay, the thing that I'm really excited about are the new sound systems. And these are what the new sound systems look like. They're called the Front Row Juno sound system. And these have the same technology in them that like a really nice Bose sound system would have. It's got sound dispersal piece. So there's one of them in every classroom in those 6 buildings. And to use them, basically they're connected to your computer, so you get computer sound. They're also connected to your DVD VCR player if you have one. And there's also a port in the front of it that you could connect if you wanted to connect an iPod or something with a headphone jack type piece cable to it. You can do that as well. Okay, so let's go through real quickly how to use this, how to turn it on, what's where, and so on. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is make sure down at the bottom, so this is a picture underneath the projector, okay? So that is where your on-off switch is at, and there's a little dot right there, and that little dot should be pushed in. That means that you're on. When you do that and you turn on, this front LCD panel should be activated, okay? Through the front LCD panel, you then have your volume control. So this is just like a touch panel, kind of like an iPad. You just push it to turn the volume up, push it to turn the volume down. Okay? So pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory with that. There are some buttons at the bottom here. These are all of the configuration buttons, and you don't really have to worry about that. We've set up the basic configurations for you. We are going to do some more advanced settings with those. We're actually going to come around once everybody's back into the school and teaching, and we're going to set the equalizer volumes on that so we get the best possible sound that we can out of them. But to be honest with you, the standard right out of the box, it's really, really good. I have one that I've been playing around with. I haven't done anything with the equalizer at all, and it sounds really, really good. But we will be coming around, sometime the first month or so to be able to set all those equalizers. All right, so you have a couple toys that come with this. The first one is this, which is a lavalier mic. This is just something that the teacher can wear or a student can wear. You just put it on and put it around your neck, and then you hold on to this button down here at the bottom. And when you do that, and unfortunately this one's not charged, it'll turn green, and this is now the master control for the speaker system. So this is something that I could teach, and I could walk around the room with this around my neck. It will pick up my voice and send it directly through to the sound system. Now, these are infrared systems, which means that this top black part here needs to be open. You can't cover it up. And then also at the top of the projector, if you look all the way up at the top, there is a little black box all the way around the top. That's the other sensor. So that can't be covered up either. Okay. Now, you can turn your back to it because it actually has the ability to bounce off the walls. I was able to do some tests, and I was able to walk all the way to the back of the room, put my face right up against the back wall, and I was still able to get it picked up. Okay. So this is the first part, and you can actually, there's some voice commands that you can do that we'll teach you later on, that you can actually control the volume right from this just by holding down and telling it what to do. So we'll get to those fancier things a little bit later. The other piece that you have that's really cool with these is each one of you will get a handheld mic that looks like this. And this is more or less for the students to be able to use. And with this, you just flip this up. The green light should come on if it's charged, and where the little there's a little like seat there. And this can be handheld and passed around from student to student. So if you're having a classroom discussion, if you're doing Socratic seminars, anything like that, this can be really good in your classroom because now it gives the kids a talking stick, something that amplifies their voice, something to give them a little bit more confidence to talk in front of people, and one we can hear it really, really well. So the other cool thing about this one is all the way at the bottom, and I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera at all or not, but at the bottom there is a little headphone jack right there. And that headphone jack can actually be plugged into an iPad or an iPhone, and the sound will come out of that wirelessly. So let's say you're doing something in music class and you want to wirelessly play sound. So you can do that. You plug it into here, you start the song on your iPhone, and then it'll go right through the speaker system, and you could walk around the room with this basically wirelessly. Okay? One of the biggest things with these two devices are obviously you're going to have to charge them. All right? So what we've invested in are these things which is a drop-in charger. So these things have two slots for them, and all you do is when you're done using these, drop these in, and it doesn't matter what order they go in. They can go in either order. Just make sure they're pushed down all the way, and they're going to charge overnight for you. Okay? So the important thing is to make sure that these, obviously they're not going to work if they're not charged. So make sure that you put this in a nice safe place, somewhere where it will plug into electric, and make sure that you charge that in. Okay? The other pieces that you're going to get with this are a bunch of different cables. And if you look at the side of your Juno system, you're going to see a bunch of different cables. All right, please do not disconnect any of these cables because these are what goes to your computer sound. This is what goes to your DVD, VCR player sound. You do have an opening. You can notice here, there's an opening. So if you want to attach something else to that, you have that. And then you also, if we go back here and look on the front, here is that other audio jack that I was telling you about that you can plug in from the front. Okay. So you'll notice that there's a bunch of cables here as well. One of them obviously is going to the computer. All right. One of them is actually a charging cable. So the charging cable looks like this. Let me show you. So it's got a USB port, a normal just USB port, and then it's got this really little skinny port right there. All right. What you can do with that is that port, if the USB is plugged into the Juno system, this can actually go right into any of your microphones, either this one or the handheld microphone, and it can actually charge directly from there as well. Okay. Now that you have 2 of them and we've bought the fancy drop-in charger, I would recommend use this. You're going to get a better charge out of it than you would with something like this. Okay. The other cable that you're going to have is this one here, and this is what goes to your computer. And this is going to be part 2 of this training. I'm going to tell you about it, but we're not going to get into it right now because this is just the quick start version. But you've got 2 cables here. This one here actually goes into the computer, or actually into the Juno, excuse me, and this one here will actually go into your computer. And what the Juno has the capability to do is it has the ability to do screen capture and audio capture. So let's say you're doing some type of a demonstration, or you're doing something on your computer that you want to have recorded. Let's say you're flipping the classroom, any of those types of ideas. You can actually, once we get everything set up and everybody knows how to use it, you can actually record everything that's on your computer screen, as well as the audio that's going through one of the microphones on the Juno, and it will record it, and you can push it out to YouTube, or you can put it on Google Drive or whatever by using this system. So now this system gives you the ability to, allow kids to watch things multiple times, because we know that not every kid gets things on the first time. So you may have that student in your class that needs to watch your lesson a couple times, or maybe you want to do a review for a test, or maybe you want to do an experiment, and some kids that maybe were out that day could watch the experiment. Or maybe you want to record the Socratic seminar so you can be a part of the seminar, but then go back later and listen to the seminar and do the evaluations and give the feedback back to the kids. So I think that's got a whole lot of instructional purposes and tools that could be into it. And like I said, we're going to bring Front Row in, which is the company that we bought these speaker systems from, and they're actually going to do the training for us. So they're actually going to help us out a little bit to figure out how to set everything, how to utilize the software, and then how to be able to set those up for everybody so that they're ready to go and you can utilize all those tools. So once again, I'm very, very excited about these different tools that we've got. And taking a look. If you want to look at some more information, do a Google search for Front Row Juno, and it'll bring this page up, and it'll give you just a little bit more information. I've shared this with you a couple times, but just give you a little bit more information on what it is, where it is. There's a quick start guide we'll be passing out to everybody, lesson capture setup, which is what I talked about the video and the audio, and the software that you're going to need. We'll have that all available in self-service by the time that you come back. Okay, so like I said, very excited that this is finally getting done. We're going to have every single classroom in the school district now with mounted projectors and sound reinforcement systems, and hooked up to computers and DVR players. So very, very excited. I'm excited to see what teachers can do with these, and how they can improve our student achievement and student growth. So once again, thank you very much for watching this episode of Seymour Educate Podcast. Let me know how these are working. I'll be out in the buildings and taking a look-see, and I'm excited. Thank you very much. Bye.